Hello and welcome back to the channel. Right, subscriber giveaway. I know you've all been dying to hear this. As I mentioned in a video earlier in the week, I had two people that were neck and neck, and it just didn't matter which way I cut it, I tried to mark it, they were coming out absolutely even. Although they did have things around, they weren't identical to each other by any means. So it looks like I'm going to have to do two models. Thanks, guys. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just quickly run through the 12 models and put them in the order that I have them. So, unsurprisingly, in 12th place, and I don't think anybody got this wrong at all, it was the Jag Panther by Kazi. It was just junk. Really badly thought out, terrible camo, so many missing pieces, really ill thought out way of building it. It was just absolute junk, and I would absolutely avoid that like the plague. I just do not waste your money on that at all, and that I'm giving an F. In 11th place, again, no, I don't think anybody got this wrong either. It's the, I'm going to have to try and pronounce this now, Sonderkraftfahrzeug 251, the German half-track. It wasn't a good way of doing a basic model. Although there was nothing missing on it, again, it was just, don't waste your money. There are better models of those things out there, and just, nah. Not even at £9. That I'm giving a D to. In 10th, most people got this right, I have to say. It's the IS-2 and the ISU-122. Now, this is not because they are bad models in themselves. It's purely the amount of missing pieces that I had with this kit, because obviously it's a 2-in-1 kit. So that is down to slubing, it's not down to the model itself. And obviously other people, I might have got unlucky, other people may find that they buy it and they get everything they want out of it, and that's fantastic. But for me, in my review, I was missing bits. So therefore it comes in at number 10 with a C-. Now the next one will surprise a lot of people. At number 9, and that's the Panlos Centurion. Now, it's only here because of the proportions on it. It's not that it's a bad model in any way. It was fun to do. It's one of the few models that you can consistently play with afterwards. You know, the remote control is great on it, and on the short that I did with it, it shows you, it goes over, it can cope with an awful lot of different terrain. It was just, it was a little bit too tall, a little bit too narrow. It just needed to be squished and widened a little bit. But as I say, it's not that it's a bad model, it's just that they all had to come in order somewhere. And to be honest with you, from this one upwards, they weren't bad models. But sometimes it's just the finest things make them drop or rise a place. So that I'm actually giving a B- to. In 8th place, again, this will surprise a lot of people, it is the H-20, the Chinese stealth bomber. Fantastic model to finish. Bit boring, bit grindy to do, didn't grab my engagement while I was doing it. It was only right to the very end, as it was all coming together, that it was like, ooh, this is really nice. But it was the process of getting there that drags this one down. Otherwise, again, fantastic model. And only because of I think the way in which you build it, it comes out as a B for me. Then we have at 7 the AH-12 Viper, the American attack helicopter. the upgrade from the Cobra. Nothing wrong with it at all. Again, it was a good model to build. It was a good price. There was nothing wrong with it. But it wasn't quite top tier. You know, the printed bricks on it were just in black and white. They could have been, with the American Star, it could have been in a colour. That's what it desperately needed, was just a little bit of colour to bring it to life. But nothing wrong with it. Fantastic model. That gets A minus. The KV1, the KV2, the little Jaquan beauties that were £7 each. If you're going to buy a cheap tank, this is the one. This and the KV2. For the price you pay, they're fab. For, you know, they've got a reasonable amount of detail. For them, these are just excellent little tanks for pocket money prices. Yeah, it's just, you don't have to pay a fortune to actually get something that's worth having. They are a straight A. Now, in 5th place, this is where it's going to start getting contentious in the comments. I've got the SR-71 Blackbird. Now, as you're aware, I loved the Blackbird. I thought it was fantastic, and it was £9 from Wange. Now, this is a fairly generic kit. You will see, if you go searching for it, you will see lots of different manufacturers with their name on exactly the same kit. Shop around if you're going to go and buy it. I've seen this as high as exactly the same kit with 184 pieces or whatever it was. Exactly the same kit as high as £120. I say I paid £9 for it. You mostly see it in around the sort of 20s and 30s. Do not pay that sort of price for it. As fantastic and as accurate as it is, some people are going to get ripped off on it. And although it's not the model's fault, that's one of the reasons why it's now in 5th place with a straight A, fractionally above the Cobra, or the Viper rather. In 4, my T-54-55. What can I say about this? It's a smallish, cheap tank done right. There was nothing missing from it. If nothing else, it's how to do a Soviet turret. But I just think this thing was fantastic. It had absolutely everything that you would want from a model. It was fun to build. There was nothing missing. It's extremely accurate with its dimensions. Its pricing was competitive, £11. I just thought this was a really fantastic tank, and after I'd had a few very iffy tanks, this came as a really nice surprise. And the fact that you can build it in, I think it was 3 different variants, was also really good. So I just think it's a fantastic tank. It's just very good indeed. That also gets an A. Excuse me. Now, top 3. I think most people got the top 3. It was just the order that came in. Now, in 3rd with an A+, is the Challenger, which best tank I've done. So much detail, so much fun to do, well thought out. The only I mean, it's an A+, The only reason that it's not higher on this list is it's the most expensive of the top three. It's the most expensive, and there's literally like paper thin differences between these top three, and just because of the cost. That's the only thing that knocks it down to number 3 on this list. As I say, all the rest, the top 3 are all A pluses. I don't think you can go wrong in the slightest with any of these builds. Number 2, it's the E2, the Hawkeye. Huge surprise. Was not expecting that to be anywhere near as good as it was. Just everything was right with it. Even down to the fact that the wings fold, which is not mentioned in the instructions at all. It was only, if I pull it, wow. You know, it's not a particularly sexy aircraft. It's not a Lightning. It's not a Raptor. It's not a MiG-29 or Su-57 or anything like that. But it is a fantastic model. It really is how to do a model right, and there's some really clever little details that they add into the way that that's built. Again, can't fault it in the slightest. But it is in second, as I say, paper thin differences between the lot. And finally, my number 1 is the Bismarck by Farange. Why is this number 1? Again, huge surprise. This was, again, so much fun to do, and I think that is an important part of building these models. It's all about having fun. If you get halfway through a model and you have to go to bed because you've got work next day, or you've got your meal ready or something like that, you've got to look forward to going back to finishing it, or just the next bit, just one more stage to build, and I'd have quite happily sat there through the night doing this. It was so good. There is so much detail on here that I think is fantastic. Clever way of building it. Slightly odd in places, but it's effective. There was just, this was everything I want in a model and more. The fact it surprised me by being anywhere near as good as it actually is. It's very solid. Yeah, by far the best model I've done. And the fact that this was £30, and you compare it to other ships that either I've done or are on the market at the moment, and yes, some of them are bigger, some of them have a higher piece count, and perhaps some of them are more accurate than this, or have more detail. But for £30, I was absolutely blown away by this. It's just fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And unfortunately, I've lost it, because the person who won, or one of the 2 people who won the competition, wanted the Bismarck. So, Mario, I hate you, but you get the Bismarck. And Jurassic Gamer, congratulations, you both tied with each other. You get the H20 that you wanted. So I will get hold of you and we'll make arrangements on that. But anyway, thank you very much for everybody who entered the competition. It was fun seeing some of your lists and reasons why they were there, and we will have another one in another couple of months. But anyway, you take care. I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.